Greetings, people who watch my channel. This is BowserN64. Today, I'm going to show you how to make one of the most awesome homemade store-bought soups that you can make. Now that's almost an oxymoron, homemade store-bought. But anyway, you know there are several soup brands you can buy at the store that are good on their own, right? Well, imagine what happens if you take one and you put all your own custom ingredients in it and come up with one of the most delectable delights. It's so delicious. It is hard to describe it with words. So, you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you here. If you take cheese, onions, chives, pepperoni, and bacon bits, and put it inside a soup like this, yeah, Maruchan, you got it right. Ramen noodles all the way, dude. You put some stuff in this, you're going to come up with one of the best soups you could possibly have. At least at a price like this. I mean, as you guys know, Maruchan ramen noodles is good on its own. You know, it has chicken flavor and everything. They also have beef and shrimp and flavors like that. And there's 0 gram of trans fat. But it's still good by its own. But it's better with cheese, onions, chives, bacon bits, and maybe a little bit of pepperoni. Once you get all that in there, it's so good. So, I'm going to show you guys how to make this. And I'm sure that you don't want to hear me talk much longer because you're hungry, right? So let's start. Okie dokie smoky, guys. So the first thing you do is you take the scissors. You're going to need some scissors. Well, actually, before I actually go through the video, let me give you a rundown of what you need. First, you're going to need Maruchan soup, package of that, cutting board, scissors, real crumbled bacon. Really any kind of crumbled bacon will do. Sharp cheddar cheese. And you're going to need turkey pepperoni or standard pepperoni, it doesn't really matter. And you're also going to need chives. Now, there's only a few of them in here, as you can see. So, I'm not going to have a whole bunch of them to use. So the first thing you're going to do is take your scissors and open up your package of ramen noodles. Just like this. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. There we go. Throw the piece of trash away that came off, and there's your ramen noodle stuff inside. We're going to put that back down. The next thing we're going to need is a bowl. And what we're going to use the bowl for is to put our ramen noodles inside of, so that it will not make a mess. This is a new concept that only a few people and members of mankind have recently come to appreciate. Keeping things clean. You want to keep your kitchen area clean at all times. This helps you stay clean and also avoid various disasters such as spills, stuff like that. So we're going to take our package and we're just simply going to dump our entire package of Maruchan into the bowl. Just like that. As you can see, even we made a little bit of a mess there. Inside your Maruchan package is going to be the flavoring. So you're going to save this because this is very important stuff right here. This is what makes your soup taste so good as a base. Notice it says chicken flavor. Alright, so the easiest way to crush your soup up so that it'll be good and stuff is just do it inside a bowl. You just want to put your hands in there, just like this. And push around until you crunch all of the noodles into little tiny pieces. Sometimes they do feel a little bit sharp at times, so you do want to avoid that and make sure you don't get cut. Really, I would suggest using gloves, but there are no clean gloves on the moment on hand, so I am not able to do that particular thing. But once you get these all mashed up, you have to realize also that when you're mashing these up, it doesn't have to be every single one, it doesn't have to be separated, because when you put it in the microwave and you add water to the thing, it'll all fall apart anyway. But it's good to have it somewhat evenly smashed up. That way you won't have chunks in your soup when you're done. Alright, so now you can see the bowl is nicely filled with all of our Maruchan. It's all finely crunched up here. Just falls from our hand. So, put that back on there. What we're going to do is we're going to fill this bowl with water. So, go over to the sink. I'm not going to show this part because it's pretty much self-explanatory. And we fill it up about, I don't know, 3 centimeters from the brim. Sort of like that. You want it that full of water. Notice how much water there is in the bowl. Alright. So, the next thing you're going to do is go to the microwave. Now this is actually an optional step because you can actually put your soup in the microwave after adding all the ingredients into it. But what I usually do is I add them afterwards. But I suppose that I could add them beforehand anyway, because my theory is when you put it in the microwave, the heat and stuff will like disperse the flavor of whatever you put in the soup at that time. So to me, it makes more sense to put it in beforehand. But to you, it might make sense to microwave your soup before and add all of your ingredients later. So first thing you're going to put in is cheese. This is the most important base ingredient in your soup because it will give it the most flavor. It's responsible for the tangy flavor that you have after you are done fixing your soup. It also hangs around the bottom of the bowl and makes the soup taste really good. So just add a couple pinches of cheese into there. Take your spoon and just stir around so it sinks to the bottom. Lay your spoon on the cutting board so you do not get your island or countertop wet. The next thing you're going to add is bacon bits. This also just takes a couple pinches. Just evenly sprinkle it in there. Just like that. Alright. So once you're done with that, you close your bacon bits container. The pepperoni is actually optional because if you want it, you would have to actually cut it up in little pieces because it would just not be that good if you put whole pieces of pepperoni inside your soup. So you would have to take a knife and slice it up into little tiny pieces. I might do that if I feel like it. But this here is the chives. And there's not very many of them, as you can see, so that's all that's left. So we're just gonna gather them all up into a little mound. Reach our fingers in there, pull them out, and drop them in the soup. Just like that. Okay, so that's pretty much the last step. If you want to add pepperoni pieces, you will need to get a kitchen knife. And you will need to put the pepperoni pieces on the cutting board and cut them up with the kitchen knife. This is an optional step because this would actually be the first time that I've tried pepperoni in a soup like this. Always be sure to exercise the proper rules of knife safety when in the kitchen. Do not touch the blade with your finger. You will get cut. And do not wield it around like some sort of medieval sword or something like that. This is a kitchen tool and it can be deadly. So we're going to remove our bowl after we spill all the soup all over the place. And we're going to take some pieces of pepperoni. So we open up a package of pepperoni, just like this. Pepperoni. Get some out. This is actually turkey pepperoni, and it tastes pretty much the same as the other standard kind of pepperoni. Alright, so what you do is you hold your pieces of pepperoni here, and you just nicely cut them, just like this. Be careful you don't cut your finger because that will hurt. And just cut it crossways as well. That way you can have little tiny pieces. And now the pepperoni is cut. As I said, this step is optional because if you're very hungry, you probably do not want to wait to do all this before you put it inside your soup. This is actually quite a bit of pepperoni, so it's going to be interesting to see what it tastes like. I hope it will not be a disaster. Once you're done with that, you simply move your soup over here, and you take the cutting board, you hold it at an angle, and you just scoop these off into the soup. This is the easiest way to get it into your soup without making a huge mess, because if you picked it up with your fingers, you would have it go every which way, and that would not be very fun. Especially to clean up. So now your soup is pretty much ready to be put in the microwave. But the last thing you're going to add is the seasoning. But you do that after you microwave the soup, always, because that way it will melt in perfectly to your formula. Otherwise, the soup is going to be cold and it might clump the flavoring in different places of the soup. So that's the way you want to do that. Before you put it in the microwave, you're going to want to stir the whole thing. Just like that. Alright, so you simply go over to it, open it up, place your soup inside neatly, close the door, and on that you're going to have to get a close-up shot for this. You're going to want to set your microwave for about probably a minute and a half. So 130, and you let it microwave. Once you're done, you just simply open the microwave and take your soup out. Carefully grab it. You're really going to want to grab your soup with both hands. But as you can see, since I am the cameraman as well in this video, I do not have that option. Now we are simply going to add our flavoring into our soup. So we're going to take this package, shake it just like this, and pull it open. Just like that. The flavoring is inside. See the yellow stuff? Good stuff. You're just simply going to dangle it over your soup and sprinkle it all around. And there you go. Your soup is now virtually done. You're going to take your spoon and stir in a figure-8 motion. And the reason you stir in a figure-8 versus a circular motion is because the figure-8 mixes all of the contents, both the bottom and the top noodles, better than just a circular motion, because as you know how whirlpools work, if you stir in a circular motion, all of the flavoring could collect in the center of the bowl, and it's just not as great a job as if you did a figure-8 stirring. Alright, so now, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, comment and rate, enjoy your concoction, and I'll see you around with another video.